to compete with them.
All right, well, we are going to be jumping into the pistol then, and we shall see with our own eyes how this is going to develop. The masters of strategy and discipline versus the individual hurricane that is Faze. Let's see if they can get their skills going. Already quick tracer with the door push. But now 4v4 is going to slow down a little bit as both teams get their bearings.
Yep, so we've lost one CT, but two of the Ts have gone down. Fox still got the range advantage of you get right, but just can't get that fatal frag. And Freiberg's going to go for a bit of an open plant, a bit risky. I'm sure he has calculated his exposure to the higher area. So CT starting to move back in now. Freiberg has nobody to help him actually with the push from Fox. Down he will go, and now it's Exist alone versus 3 Faze players, and he'll get taken down as well. So that is everybody down and out for the count. And the bomb is going to be defused, so we'll have to wait and see what the play is going to be from NiP.
Yeah, it's, I mean, I think Janko has said in the games we've had in the past few days as well that NiP, they are a team that if they get the pistol rounds, they make things look glorious. But if they aren't able to get the pistol rounds, then it does affect their game quite a bit because they don't get as many of those eco rounds to play against, and that's where they're really consistent. So we'll have to see whether or not NiP will be able to have a... Well, actually, they decided to go for the full save here. I mean, they did get the bomb down in the previous round, so looking for a fast play with the AK-47s in the following rounds.
It was a great play from Faze. That's what you want to do against NiP. Try and disrupt them somehow early in the pistol round. The door push paid off for them. They were able to rotate after and secure. NiP is on the T side.
So we've got the what is likely to be just a march into death. Got Fox there on the side, momentarily putting out a nade, but decides better of it. Back to the SMG, and the SMG will do a fantastic job. And that's everybody dead for NiP, but that is the expected result. I don't think they wanted, well, they thought they would get anything more than maybe a frag if they were lucky there. So into what is going to be interesting now. What are your expectations here, Janko? We've got the AKs, Galil, and some nades from NiP.
Well, they don't have too much utility, seeing as I think that if they go for a default, I see that Getright has his smoke and Molotov to go towards the B bomb site, and if we can stay on him, this is what he does almost every round. He denies vision here for the CTs and then denies their entrance into the checkers with his Molotov smokes and basically takes control of the area around the box, which in turn puts a lot of pressure towards the CTs on that B bomb site and allows his own team to go for these amazing plays to check middle as well. And Ts need to react, the CTs need to react to this somehow, right? You can see how defensive they are towards the mid and the B bomb site, and they can't know if that's only Get right there towards B or maybe the whole team is behind them and they're setting up for a full exit. Look at the position of the CTs now. So if the whole team was there and if they had a lot of utility, they could flush out both of these players with Molotovs and smokes, and it's probably what we're going to see later on in the half. But now NiP is rotating towards the A bomb site where there's 2 Faze players waiting for them.
It's such a cool pressure play from NiP in the way that you described, because they get so many options as well, and they are a team that's going to be able to make good mid-round calls. So they get all this information, Getright gets a pick as well now.
And because of that, all of that pressure, JChem is forced to somehow get some information and he gets punished by Getright.
And now it's down to AZ. He's got a good boost position, but the split is able to actually control some of that variance that might be there with the player up on the boost and just say, okay, if anyone's in that position, the short guy is going to be able to take him down. And they got a 3 versus 3 after plant situation now. This is looking fantastic for the Swedes. So Forest hit, looking for the next frag as the CTs go in for the retake. And it will be interesting to see if Forest can get more than a couple kills here, because he's got a great position and there are 2 easy frags from Forest. Finally, the answer comes from Kiyoshima. The firearm was making it difficult, and now he's against 2 players. But still, quite a bit of time has gone on the bomb. Both Ts are playing behind quad. And Kiyoshima can't be sure. He's getting tagged down to 19. That's going to be the end of him. That was a really beautifully put together round by NiP, I must say.
Again, we see some of the issues for Faze here. They were pressured, they lost map control, but they didn't react. They played it passively, but they still had a player boosted up on the A bomb set. He can't fall back from there, he's stuck. So Jaken goes for an individual play by himself. Maybe should have asked a teammate to flash for him before that peak, and even with low utility, NiP manages to take the first gun round.
And it's just going to be a fast mid-take from NiP, so they're going to keep the pace high in the following round. Interestingly, GetRight gets in, gets the kill, gets back out again to safety as Exist picks up the player Jacob, who was trying to get the kill to GetRight, but AZ's going to come in for the refrag there. So in that sense, it's a good response that they're able to get, Faze can get something out of this loss of middle, but still it's a 4 versus 3 right now, and NiP have done the damage they need to do. And you can see they're just holding the pace now, expecting there to be rotation from Faze, perhaps going on a gamble with a push or going on a gamble with just holding 2 players to one side and having 1 player solo hold somewhere. But actually, there's the peak, and Fox is ready for it. That's such a big frag from Fox.
Tease with a lurker over towards Squeaky and Pit. So NiP are likely to go for the split in this position. Bomb slowly moving towards main. And GetRight can bide his time for the moment. If they have a read of some weakness over towards A, his position may be crucial as the rotation comes in for the CTs. GetRight moving up to short now. That smoke will obviously help them from car, but AZ is on the site itself and he gets 2 frags, so this is a huge problem. GetRight doesn't really have the HP here. He's got 9 HP, got the AK to his advantage. As he is going for the kills, not the bomb just yet. He needs to find out where AZ is, but AZ's moved all the way around. Now Kiyoshima's getting into position. The more the clock ticks, the bigger problems GetRight will have. Down to 1 versus 1 though, but can't do any more with 9 HP, and Kiyoshima will just about hold on for Faze there. 4 players lost for the CTs. You can see their money is pretty bad at the moment. NiP's is not great by any means. GetRight could drop a bunch of pistols at least for NiP, but realizing the weakness in the C2 economy, they're going to go for the Force.
That was just a great round from AZ, getting good timings and picking up a couple of kills. And as you said, NiP decides to force because they can reset Faze's economy.
Bless you. So we come back to your thought in a moment. We do have the push coming in from NiP now. So nades into the A site with their less than optimal economy, but they're going to decide to kind of go for what initially can look like a fake. They cannot leave a guy in A main to kind of split up onto A after it looks like a fake into B, but instead they are going to be pressuring into short. AZ Stay gets out of dodge just in the nick of time there before he can be shot in the back, and the repositioning is quite strong, and it's generally quite good positions here for the CTs as we have Rain there just by forklift. His back covered by AZ. So there's no easy way in for NiP, but they do have the numbers advantage at this point. And now it does look like they're going to recommit into the A bomb site. So they've been getting the initial 2 kills from what looked like it was going to be an a set play, and then it was a fake as far as Faze are concerned, and now they're not sure what's going on. They're just holding back now and kind of predicting that the NiP are going to go to B, but it is instead A, and all that's there is Rain with an MP9. So good luck, Rain.
Yeah, versus players with Kevlar at the very least. He could be in for some problems, and now Faze are continuing to stretch a bit more. They've got a play moving over towards Car, but will he get there in time? 2 kills for Rain so far. Going for the spray down, running out of bullets, and Forrest will take him down. Now there's a reasonable chance we're going to see the bomb plant on default here. Forrest trying to give himself a fighting chance to take the round. He will force AZ back, but the CTs will return with 2. Fox can hold an angle. Flash comes in. Forrest almost running up for him now. Tries to get himself to 1 versus 1. Can't do it though. Faze, again, they survive with 2 players. The bomb goes down for NiP, which will be a bonus going along with their loss bonus. We'll see how much money they have left after this round. It may be an eco coming in now. Around 3,000 on average.
Again, great individual performance this time from Rain. Considering he was alone on the tape bomb site, he chose the perfect spot and the perfect position and played it perfectly after that, letting a couple of players go through before he peaks, kills Exist, and another player after that buying enough time for his team to rotate over, and they force NiP on another eco. Good start for Faze.
Lots of pistols here for the NiP side. 2 smokes and a flash though, but they can use this flash to try and pop themselves into this corner. And indeed, that's exactly what they're going to do. The AWP missing the shot, but Kiyoshima is in here with the gear. 2 frags for him, but they will be trades. So the bomb site's going to be clear. But Jacob doing what he can. The bomb hasn't made it now to the site, so he might not even see the plant if at NiP. That said, it's 2 versus 3, and they've got some weapons here. Forrest with the AWP, GetRight taking down Rain to be traded by AZ.
Yeah, Forrest with that AWP, that is very significant. It could be major problems here. Perfect weapon in a spot like this. Boom, there's the first frag. 1v1 for Forest. He knows where AZ is. Misses the second shot. AZ gets closer. He has to pull out the pistol. Great damage. Nade combo with the P250, but just shy of the killing blow is Forest. And that will be AZ with the defuse there. But that was a very costly round in the bomb plant in a round in which NiP were saving. So they should have a pretty decent economy now. Yeah, that's a really nice chunk of cash to buy with.
Yeah, the B players of Faze getting caught out by the aggression of NiP there. Fox was only on his pistol, he was in the middle of nowhere, so to speak. Not really sure why Forest in the end went for that pistol instead of the AWP, but good round for NiP, all things considering, and now they have a great buy and maybe the ability to reset Faze.
Indeed, Faze are every round surviving by the skin of their teeth, and their economy is within a whisker of being broken. So, indeed, I think we looked at that Molotov yesterday. And
yeah, you're right. Originally it was for the Dennis position and not the crate.
Well, we have a player in Squeaky for the CTs. Get Right is making a nuisance of himself over towards B. As per usual, Kishima comes back to find out what's going on, and he finds out what's going on to his detriment. So we have a 5 versus 3 here, and Faze are in a lot of trouble.
Yeah, absolutely. Just Fox here. He hasn't really been connecting a lot of his shots so far, so he's going to need to finally step up if the attack does actually come into B. But there's no real forward positions here just yet for NiP, and they've got so much time, and they've already got 2 kills that they could very well consider a new approach to this round. Just wait a lot of time, as they've done in previous rounds, force Faze to split up or go for a play for info. You know, this is always a really awkward spot as the CTs, because those are 2 spots you're in. Do we just hold, or do we play for info? And Fox is on the angle with that AWP. It is the committed play into B. First shot connected from Fox. He's got teammates. Nice snap there onto the second. Jakem comes in as well for a quick frag. It's just Forest again versus 2 players. This time he's got more than 15 seconds though, but not that much more. Here he goes, trying to find that 1 versus 1, trying to bait out the player that he knows must be on the flank. Forest is very committed to this decision, but AZ very disciplined there. Oh, beautifully done there. Forest knew that was when AZ was going to peak, when Fox would shoot a shot. So that was incredibly smart play, but he's beginning to run out of time. 15 seconds, can't close out the clutch, but very smart play from Forest.
Another gun round, another good play from Faze individual. This time it is Fox, and it's exactly what they need. They were a man down, and he manages to get 2 kills and again buy time for his teammates to rotate over. I was kind of surprised that Keo just decided to flash for himself and run out of vents, because it was obvious that NiP already had control of that. Maybe he should have. I don't think Fox had any flashes left at that point, but you know, maybe he should save them just in that case.
Oh, Janko.
Spit gets an easy kill.
If they watch my videos, they would know how to flash checkers from mid.
Or that.
Yeah.
They fixed that?
No. I didn't use the exploit.
Oh, okay.
I actually sent that to FM Pwn and told him to fix it. So now you have to use my flash. Get wrecked, everyone else. Well, Faze hanging on from a great performance there by Fox. So they are at a man disadvantage. Get Right biding his time here, hoping that Fox will perhaps go into a false sense of security. Although Fox will need to back off now because the wall of smoke is coming into mid, which means he will be vulnerable to the vents being taken. That said, he's taken down the lurker and Get Right over towards Toxic, so or the sunroom, if you will. So he continues to be a problem. He is such a big player for Faze. 45 seconds on the clock here. NiP with players in mid, and it seems they will indeed go for the A split once again.
Yeah, let's see if NiP can get better luck into this site. Faze have been very, very hot so far generally. Individually, let's see if they can keep the trend going. Assist, very nice. That had to be a fast frag, it was. And Freiberg getting an equally quick one towards the site. Whoa, this is a pretty decisive round. From NiP, that's it. There's this very unlikely Fox can do much here. Although the money, let's have a look at the money here for Faze, because that's going to basically indicate whether or not how aggressive Fox can be with his AWP. Because he could try to get a couple kills here. Very realistically, could try to push up for some angles. But
not that good, I would imagine. The last 3 rounds, I think they were only left with 1 player alive, even though they won the round. So he's probably going to have to try and save this.
Yeah, you're right. They are actually screwed for money.
Pretty bad.
pretty much the worst.
Still more than an average Serbian has in his pocket, but not really enough.
All right. Well, quick kill, and this is it. We're into round 9. This is the first time we're going to see an anti-eco that NiP can play, and that's again that's where they get a lot of their consistency.
Yeah, but it's not a typical one because Faze has a bit more money than usual, so they have more utility, and they have Fox on the AWP, and that changes everything. When there's an AWP on the CT side, you have to play it in a certain way, basically.
Well, looks like
And
they
you
might
can
just
see
molly
NiP
onto the
grouping
side.
up already.
Yeah, here we go. Got the flank coming in. This is very dangerous. Oh no, they're not going to expect this. Faze can get really close to that C, just spraying wildly. But oh no, I think he could have taken a bit more time there. And AZ only gets a single frag. And as we can see, NiP moved out so quickly that they're actually on the site. But Jacob will pick up a frag. He's on 20 HP though, and there's no weapons for the remaining CTs. So it should be pretty impossible for them.
Well, there should be at least one rifle in main if he can reach it, and they just smoked off main, the T's, which means that Jacob can go and pick up the rifle if it is indeed there. Time's still on their side, and they don't have that much to loot here. I think there's, well,
And Fox had a kit, so they can pick it up on the way.
yeah, I mean, they might want to save the one AK, but there is so much to gain at the same time. Jacob up top, he's not going to be able to do it though. Yeah, I mean, they had so much to gain by going for it versus what they had to lose.
Yeah, that was a really legit attempt. That was pretty much almost a 1 round. Very
Now
close.
the game becomes much more difficult for Faze. They're gonna eco here, obviously, but even after that, their buy is not gonna be that great. Fox would have to go for a glass cannon op if he wants one in the next round, and that's where NiP is at their most powerful. When they have all the utility and you're on a mixed buy or a non-optimal buy, they're really strong at winning those rounds.
Well, Faze making some hard reads. Again, we talk about what CT sides do on their ecos, and they are playing the safety and numbers game. Rain flying in, and here comes the Mandem, which means it's going to be a full rotation towards the bomb site. I think you can pretty much say you saw at least 4 players there. But NiP holding steadfast at the moment. They've got Get Right, who's made his way all the way through. Bear in mind, he's not overextending here with the peak. He's making sure he's not going to go super wide and face 5 people at the same time, in which he might have a fair chance of dying, but he's going to have a reserved approach, and it's working out so far. One by one, these players will get picked off like the legs from a spider.
I mean, you can see it with Forest too. Like, there's a lot of players in Forest position who would have actually just edged a little bit further left, and you would be exposed to many more players. He might have just died. He had like 60 to 80 health, I think, at that point. He could have maybe gone for another quick peek, but they're so disciplined. There's these spots where you would see a lot of players get frag hungry in like these anti-eco situations. But I mean, again, with Forest and Get Right there, you see that they're not frag hungry at all. They're very disciplined.
I think 6 months ago, both of them would have gone for those kills, but now you can see that they still are itching, to go for it. But then something, clicks, and they remember, oh, I don't need to do this.
There is a greater good.
There is a greater good.
They've been reconditioned.
Exactly. So we see Fox going for that glass cannon AWP, only has a smoke. Wouldn't be surprised if NiP now goes for that B execute with the Molotovs behind Get Right.
Well, the entire team is going straight to B. Could this be a fast play from NiP? So we have the smoke coming into the first angle. I expect we'll see the Molotov going into the second one. Indeed, Get Right will be doing it now. I mean, Fox has been subjected to this quite a few times recently. Ooh, does he see?
Oh, he sees the.
He can see Freiberg. Wow. He goes for the flick. Actually, he does hit Freiberg as well. So he's done his job. Walking instead of getting away, but Get Right's going to charge straight through the smoke. 2 frags for him. Kishima doesn't know what hit him. 3 versus 5, and Get Right is in absolutely absurd positions right now. He's having a whale of a time, Dan. He's got his ice cream. He's on the beach. He's got the sandals, the sunglasses. He's topless there.
If he's having a well of time, he's on the beach. It's not necessarily a good time, James. Now we have, I mean, like that's kind of execute is really cool to see because that's very reminiscent of the G2 type one that we saw before Existence was left the team, parted ways.
Before he separated.
Before they
Then
separated.
now, of course.
But it's just like this super fast B set piece. A lot of teams don't necessarily know how to do it, but it can be pretty efficient.
What's important here is like put yourselves in the position of B players of Faze, right? You see the same thing you see every round. There's a smoke, there's a flash, there's a Molotov into checkers, there's another Molotov, and someone's gonna run in there and take control of it, right? But actually this time around, the whole team is behind them. They Molotov the back positions, limiting the spots where the Faze players can play from, and it makes it much easier for the person running in first, which in this case was actually Get-Right, and it's something we're seeing more often.
We talked about this
in this set strats. He's the first guy going in. He gets two easy entry kills, and NiP secures the round in 30 seconds, basically.
And Get-Right, the most notorious lurk player on B storage probably in the world in this map. One of the best at it in the game.
The really cool thing about putting the smoke into where Kishima's aiming right there, and then Molotoving the AWPer out, is that you can run through the smoke. You can pop flash through the smoke as well before he can get into any position, before he can get to CT, before he can get to site. He's just completely exposed because of the Molotov and the smoke, obviously. He's vulnerable in checker, so he has to run away. You go through the smoke with a flash, then you're killing him almost every single time.
The only problem with that strat is what we saw if Freiburg is too early in that position, before the Molotov forces Fox away, he can see him that he's setting up. And when you see that, that's kind of a tell that there's a set strat coming in, and then your team can almost blindly rotate at that point.
We have 3 players on the B bomb side at the moment. Oh, they get caught. They get caught with their underwear around their ankles, and Exist is going to take full abuse of the situation, take them both down. And it's just Jake, and they've naded off the side as well at this point. So this is basically the round 1.
Another interesting thing about what you mentioned, Janko, is that if we remember when they changed the models in the game, so you properly draw your weapons from your back and so on, before they did that, you probably wouldn't have seen the AK there. True. But now all the guns are properly holstered and all that. So all these changes in the game are having impacts that people might not measure.
Yeah, that's interesting.
The pulling the gun out one is hilarious with the M4, because there are actually lots of spots where you can see, like for example, a spot on this map, if someone's on the white crate behind the red container on the A bomb site, and they draw their M4, you can actually see that from the top of the box, I believe. You can just see. Like,
I see, yeah.
Getting drawn.
So they boost up onto that box.
No. Not a boost. They're just standing behind the box. And they draw out the M4. I think you can see the tip of the silencer.
That's why you shouldn't switch your weapons just for fun, boys.
Yeah, there's also spots like that as well.
I recently found out that if you jump onto the roller shutter above the entrance to mid for the T's, and you look down with a silencer, they can see the silencer, and they just wall bang you, and you're like, reported, but like, nope, silencer, mate. 6-6 now, and Faze back on a big buy. Fox even has armor, good for him. Moving over towards B bomb site. There are 3 people, which means Fox is probably going aggressive here. But there's a fast play from the NiP side, so it seems that Faze are trying to hard counter the normal execute. And we see they're not going to expect them to be so close. Get-Right still drawing his weapon. He's going to go down. Loads of counter flashes coming in for the CTs. Down goes Freiburg as well. Not the 3-man spray down though for Jacob.
Yeah, this definitely is a great response from Faze. I mean, they play the gamble that they go for the push there, and they catch NiP wanting to run one of those set pieces. The entire team gets destroyed before they can set up, and in goes Pit to try to save the day somehow. The bomb is down in the T warehouse. It hasn't been seen by Faze just yet, but they're going to discover it now. So now Faze have a complete understanding of what's going on. They've seen Pit, they've seen the bomb, and Pit, I suppose, the best case in this situation is just to get some damage in onto these CTs.
That reminds me of when Astralis were on Dust 2. I want to say it was against G2. Do you remember we were casting that, and Device was standing on short on his own with the AWP, and he was facing the wall because they did the same default every single time and threw a pop flash into lower tunnel before anybody emerged.
G2, yeah.
So he knew he could stand there and face the wall and nobody would shoot him, basically. Yeah. Because I mean, there are ways to mix it up, but obviously it's a gamble. Like you can just, for example, run in there, which is probably not recommended. But if you're against a team and you're expecting them to kind of try and counter you, then well. To be honest, it's quite risky in a pro match. But
by the way, it is actually quite ironic that the silencer, a gun that when you shoot it's not supposed to give your position away, that it can physically give your position away because of the silencer so long. There's so many positions where you have to like look into the wall or something. It's quite funny. But it's a 7-6 scoreline now, and Faze bringing around back. Bit of a resurgence for NiP as expected, but Faze still will control the match in some regard with the round lead. NiP at this point can still have the opportunity to win the half at the very least, but Faze have have pulled off a lot of rounds because of that pistol and the subsequent great individual play.
I mean, they had a 6-1 start, then they lost 5 consecutive rounds, and after that reaction towards the B bomb side, managed to get the 7th round in the half. As Forrest finds the kill on AZ.
The good thing about those smokes as well, over towards the B bomb site, is that it makes it a lot harder for the CTs to play one person on B. Because ideally, if you're going to have Fox there, you want him holding an angle. But if he can't do that, then he can get rushed, he can get traded. The T's play the trade game. So that might make Faze more likely to put a second person over towards B. I mean, they have JZFB in support most of the time anyway. But other teams may not do so.
We have the mid take coming in from NiP. They had the wall of smokes, then just sort of lurked there. And whilst he disappeared, you can see Exist getting the pick off onto JZFB, who was looking for the info. And now this sets up NiP incredibly well into this A play. They're going to rotate a few players back to A main, just leave one in mid Exist, and the rest will try to push in there. Rain actually picks up a forward frag here, and he can feel the split coming, so he's looking towards short. He gets the info that there's one player there, and he's actually going to back off and survive somehow. But for how long will he do this? This is such a smart play. His brain is at least guaranteeing that he takes a short player down, but it's so close. Still finished off by Fox though. And a 2 versus 3. That is a doable situation here for the Faze side. If Fox is able to just eke out another kill here, but some nasty tags there onto Kiyoshima. He gets the headshot somehow. Brilliant stuff there from Kiyoshima. Now Fox is going to be confident to go in to more forward fragging positions, and they know that one's at quad still. It's been smoked off though, that's an issue. In fact, was that no, it's a flashbang there from Kyo. Fox going close. Freiberg gives his position away, but at this point, Fox really doesn't have much left going in his way. Does get a quick peek there from Pit as they try to get him down, but he's got no time to defuse, so that's all NiP wanted to do, sacrifice 2 players to make sure that Fox dies, and there's a 7-7.
I like the angles that Fox was holding with the AWP. Just to the side of main, trying to get people as they're exiting. Might be a place where one might pause. Probably not, actually. But Fox is one of the faster AWPers, so fair chance he would just shoot you as you're running out of that angle. I like how the T's dropped loads of pistols, loads of P250s were dropped to make sure everybody has weapons as necessary. 4 Tech 9s coming in. This is the last round. Make sure you always buy the pistols. Fox getting taken down before he can move into position. And I can only imagine that he had a bad spawn and tried to gamble about getting into position with a late spawn. That's what can happen there.
Yeah, we know Fox loves to be aggressive on B storage. It happens very commonly. And perhaps NiP, and that's one of the reasons why they have so much presence sometimes towards B storage, and it pays off initially. Although JZFB does get away with his life, although he's weak, and more Molotovs, just as Janko was talking about before, this can be a setup towards a B set piece, or it might not be. It happens so frequently. And this time around, NiP are going to actually fall back out of B storage. And Faze just don't know it right now. They just have to, they're holding, they're waiting, expecting maybe there's a push to come in. Kiyoshima now will check, and they realize there's no Ts in B storage, or likely there are none. And there is a rotation from JZFB now. So in comes the push onto A from NiP.
Fox going down. Oh, this 5-7 is putting in massive work. This is almost Apex-esque, but it's Rain doing the damage here. 3 kills for him. JZFB to finish off the last one. That was just quite colossal.
Yeah, that 5-7 play seemed like it seemed like he had like an invisibility cloak on or something. Like no one seemed to pay attention that he was there.
Check boost, please. Check boost, please.
Yeah, indeed. But still, this feels like FaZe have done enough, essentially. I mean, they got that early string of rounds. They got to 8 rounds. I feel like if on this map you prevent NiP from getting those 10 rounds on the T side, you actually have a chance at winning cash.
I mean, yeah, I agree that T sides are probably stronger for NiP right now than their CT sides. But still, considering how Faze's T side works, right, I still feel that they need to win the pistol. They need to have a strong start so they have room for making a few mistakes, losing some gun rounds, and still being able to put pressure on NiP and their economy. Otherwise, I think that this should be enough for NiP to win the game in the end.
Well, we're about to switch sides, I think. So we'll see shortly.
It was interesting when Fox got taken down over towards B-bomb site. It's one of those positions where the HEs can be more useful in the sense that if NiP didn't have any HEs at the time, but if they did, bearing in mind how limited Faze were, they could just drop a HE in front of the AWP to nade it towards them. I think someone on the Faze side had a nade, and they threw a nade just to try and ward off any Ts who might be close. But I think there was perhaps more value in using a nade because I think 2 of the people on the site had a pistol.
Yep.
So nading the AWP to themselves, I think there was probably more value in that. Kishima did eventually pick it up, but just one of those small things that can make a big difference.
Yeah, and I think that's, NiP, there are teams that have a lot of sneaky strats in some particular situations, but I think if they did have a lot to show and cash on the CT side, I don't think we would end up seeing too many of them, because I think, the way that Threat would actually call against a team like Faze is to keep things as simple as possible, to allow Faze to make errors, so to give up advantages and so on, as opposed to trying to look for advantages as you would against a team like Luminosity, where you want to disrupt them. But
look at this.
Here we are.
4 people on the A site for the CTs playing against some of the meta at the moment, which is move the Ts towards A, and it's going to go well so far. Forest getting taken down on a squeaky push though, and now Faze will stop and collect themselves, try and figure out what's going on. Good thing for Faze is they still have a lurker over towards B, so they know where there isn't a push in one place at the very least. Not sure what's going on in mid though, so this might be a bit tricky for them. We see Pitt is shoulder peeking A main as well, so NiP retain their aggressive positions for the time being.
Not really sure why Forest decided to push Squeaky after he got the kill on main. Yes, you want to hold Squeaky so the Ts can't react to your push, but no reason to overcommit there, and gave a kill to Faze.
Yeah, Forrest is definitely one of those players that can get carried away because he's godlike a lot of the time, but not to be this time around. Oh dear. Rain able to take down Exist. I mean, definitely an unfavorable one-on-one against the USP, but he's going to make it work. He now Pitt's under a lot of pressure. He's going to have to win that fight on door if he wants to survive, although he is able to actually get back into cover here and actually take a quick headshot. He's got some cover from GetRight to help him out as well, but it's going to end up the 1 versus 2. GetRight, though, full health against JChem and Rain, which is very, very key considering that he has just a USP. And now JChem, 1 bullet should do the trick here from GetRight, but JChem finds the head of GetRight and will close the second pistol round that was set as a kind of a win condition from Janko just a moment ago.
Yeah, definitely one off.
One of many.
Yeah, one of many definitely for Faze. So, but it's a good start for them. Of course, we see that NiP decides to eco, but Pith decides to buy armor. So, a bit weird.
That was one round where Kevlar came in handy quite a bit because people didn't seem to. I mean, Pitt was trying to patiently get some headshots in, but people were taking chunks. They were taking licks over towards the A site, and Jacob survives with 7 HP. So there we go.
This is really interesting. See that they've like completely evaded crossing over mid. They've boosted up 2 players to silently go onto the vent side to try to get the element of surprise here. And Kirishima has no idea this is actually going to work out. They're going to steal away a UMP, and Pitt, the guy who does have Kevlar and head armor, he's actually going to get the UMP. This is really cool, but they still have to deal with the push onto A.
Come on, Freiburg, get us some 1-digs.
Luminosity used to do that on buy rounds, actually. They used to boost 1 player over the roof to stop people going for the early peak, killing somebody who's moving over towards short, etc. So nice to see that on a round like this. So we've got the usual smokes coming in. Just the 1 Molotov. Freiburg looks, Freiburg finds, and there it is. 2 will do, leaving, just 1 now. Fox versus 3. He's got time, but that's all he has at the moment. He has no friends. He doesn't have many corners to play around either. Stuck in a main. Oh, he's not going to check his E. He's not going to check close left. He's not going to check close left. Exist will put him out of his misery, and NiP take quite an unlikely round.
And let's not forget, that was actually a full eco apart from 1 player. That's pretty crazy that they did so well. It all started with that sneaky little boost, getting that first frag, getting that first UMP, forcing FaZe to be like, all right, we got to push into the A side of the map. That's all we have right now. And meet the 1-digs from Freiburg. What can you do? And now it's and NiP were pretty much on a full save as I mentioned, so their money's going to be looking great. All depends on how clean this one is though. And it's just going to be a simple, fast B play from FaZe to try to hurt the economy of NiP and maybe get a bomb plant if they're lucky.
They're going to get red.
Janko the Prophet once again.
Oh, but they decide to run away. That was a good call. A good call, Dan.
Yeah, their timing was wrecked. There was a nice preemptive counter flash from the CTs, and that messed up the flash being thrown by the Ts. So they essentially double flashed themselves by accident. And when that happens, then maybe it's just not going to go your way. So Faze still with lots of players, guns, Kevlars, but no nades now whatsoever. Plus side is, there's nobody on A for NiP, but there's no way that Faze can know that, and they're still just posturing around mid and B, so they're going to make the wrong play, unfortunately for them. And they should get cut to ribbons here.
Let's see if they can do something. Forest has a really safe angle, to be honest, and there's a bit of spray. That said, he's going to commit to it. It's crouch and die, and it's going to be Get Right only getting one frag there as well. So the B hold is just not really there for NiP with between the two rifles. And now this is a potentially winnable round in some respects for Faze. But the first frag will go the way of Pits, and that's the site cleaned up. And NiP, they should be good here. Fox only has 7 HP. Clearshim is going to have to go massive. One frag, but he's down very low after that one, and he will be eliminated after all, and so will Fox. So the round will go to NiP, but it was quite costly, and the bomb did go down.
Not a good hold from Forest and Get Right, and you won't hear someone say that very often. They just had Forest had too tight of an angle, and once Faze just ran through, his spray was kind of off, and that left Get Right in an unfavorable position. So Faze actually had a good chance of winning the round, but the rest of the NiP players were on point with the retake. Still a costly round for them.
Well, Faze on the eco with just a few grenades here and there. We'll see what they choose to do with them. There's a lurker towards Squeaky. That's Jacob. He is not one of the nade people. Normally someone in that position would put the one down on quad, but it seems that will be left open by the Faze side. So Jacob's going to be taken down, as is Rain. They should get the plant here, but I don't expect much more than that to happen. So I guess that was the other smoke there by Faze, which you don't really see actually. Smoke on the corner to help enable the bomb plant. Our job well done. I think you can have more fun with that. If you're going to use a smoke there, then potentially, if you put it a bit deeper, then you can plant in front of the box people hide behind, and then the bomb is potentially defendable from shorts. If you can pick up weapon, then who knows where things go from there. But we are back on the buy for both teams now. Get Right's going to be rocking the good old MP9. Fast mid-play here from Rain. Just going to just about make it out. Sometimes you can get stuck in the smoke a little bit, but he will not be challenged. NiP not looking for a war of attrition just yet. But this is strong for Faze because it allows them to get into checkers on B for free, pretty much.
Looks like NiP is just waiting in mid for Faze to smoke it and then to boost up. But they actually checked it with a flash. And this is the difference, you see. NiP does that as a duo, while Faze had Jacob do it by himself without a flash.
And Faze will take over B pretty easily, it seems. Very easy frag on Get Right, and even easier onto Freiburg, who runs through the smoke straight away. Unfortunately, it's always hard to know the perfect timing to do that, and Freiburg didn't get too lucky in that moment. But that play can work out in the chaos of tossing all the nades and the post plant sometimes. But instead it leaves NiP in a 3 versus 5, and they might be considering just going for the save at this point. It's going to be way too difficult to get in. And it looks like Rain's going to actually die to Forest there, so that was a little bit unfortunate for Faze. But still, NiP, they can't really do much from this position. So just play a kind of a light exit. See if they can get some damage in here. Forest finds another 1 versus 1. Cannot win it though against AZ. And NiP will survive with the 2 remaining guns. So Faze back in this. It feels like quite a weird match so far because Faze won both pistol rounds. It kind of feels like of course NiP are the more structured team. But they're having to really struggle to win their rounds because they're never really playing against ecos, which is, again, one of the ways that they get rounds more consistently. It always seems to be a bit of a struggle so far.
I think they took a gamble with that round, waiting for that smoke to come in so they could boost over it. Because obviously, with Faze taking mid that fast, it's going to leave B quite vulnerable when they've got vents. But the gamble didn't pay off, so let's see if it does this time. Rain going for exactly the same play. Could have been a 2-man spray down there. Much more aggression from NiP in the mid area. They don't want to make the same mistakes previous, and it's a nice read in stopping Rain from moving over there, but the Faze team are all going over towards A. Pop Flash coming in through the smoke, but Exist are going to have a good position for it. There's nobody on the site for the CTs though. Exist goes down. So again, NiP are left with 3 players trying to take control of A main, but the trades will come in for the Ts. 3 versus 2. It is doable for NiP. Those smokes will actually allow them to get closer, and GetRight's just going to run straight through the smoke. That's not enough cover for Fox.
Yeah, it takes them the bomber straight away just before he can plant. And you can see Faze were already preemptively taking post-plant positions. So now they're actually both stuck in A main at the moment. This is kind of nuts, but that's a pretty good way to get unstuck. Quick entry from Kiyoshima means that there can now be access to the bomb, but GetRight is on this angle with the M4 though. So he's actually got the long-range disadvantage, and you can see why. The AK-47 finds that 1 bullet to the head, and you are very dead. So Faze take the lead once again, and NiP, their money's kind of weird. Can't really buy, so it's a bit marginal. So they will go for the save. And Faze should be able to pick up the 12-10.
This is the thing with Cash. After going for that mid push earlier, Faze now sent only Rain to basically fake the same thing, but the rest of the team is going towards the A bomb site, and it's not complicated at all, and it's the beta reaction from NiP. Faze manages to take it in the 2v2 as they mop up NiP in the anti-equal round.
I really think those smokes to this position where Jacob is standing are quite dangerous, because when CTs are committed to the retake, they get close to the site for free, basically. So you still need someone to watch it, but even then you become susceptible to smokes, flashes being dropped in the smoke as well. And if you get flashed by that, they're going to be all over you. So if you get a smoke, I think, onto top of shorts, then obviously that's a massive choke point that you're strangling off, and you still have real estate beyond that in your control. But that particular smoke, I think, is a double-edged sword, and it's sharp on both sides. Well, Rain's going to get taken down in the mid position this time, and Faze are moving very fast towards B, but there's a smoke there. That's not going to matter though. AZ just going to out-aim GetRight quite simply. Forrest coming in to do what he can, gets a bit of a flash in, does some damage to a number of players here. You'll put NiP in a 3 versus 3, but they're retaking with Exist on an auto sniper.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's just going to run straight in. I mean, he couldn't get into position. That's a great effort from Forrest, actually, because Forrest kind of distracted them. They were so worried about Forrest picking them off as they crossed to the bomb site, on top of his flashbangs, and on top of the fact that he did actually get a frag and kind of a half there, that he slowed them down just enough for Faze to actually get, for rather his teammates to get there. And with Exist on that auto sniper is never going to be easy to retake with, I shouldn't think. So
he kept them stuck in a choke point with those flashes for ages.
Hopefully we actually get to see the classic Exist auto sniper in play at some point. But of course, you know, it just tends to be really good at cutting down the A rushes. But we haven't seen Faze go for just a pure A rush really in a while.
So Fox going for a bit of a wallbang there to the position where, if you're playing upper on A, on B in the corner, as opposed to the entrance. That's what he was aiming for just there. So everything's slowing down now after the madness of the previous rounds. Bit of a boost coming in for Faze, and Kishima seems ready to go for a mid push here. All the shoulder picking going on in the world. I think he saw Pit. Indeed, he's going for a bit of wallbangs himself. NiP focusing a lot on mid now. We have got 3 players ready to do something about mid, and GetRight's playing very passive over towards B on the site itself. And again, some passivity from Pit over towards A. He's taken it back. Oh, sorry, that's not Pit, that's Exist.
Well, there's the boost over the smoke in mid, and good for a frag. There you go. So 4 versus 4 after losing a player in middle. And now it's going to be down to Faze to just make this push onto A work, and they're going to run into the auto sniper. So maybe we'll finally get to see this. There's the first kill from the auto. 3 from Exist. That's how it should go. And there it is. I mean, there's not much Jacob can really do in this position. He's getting shot through the wall.
And this was a really important round, as both teams were kind of low on money. AZ is the only player on Faze, I think, that has over 3K. Yeah, and without the planned, Faze really are not going to be able to buy in the next round. What's interesting in NiP's setup so far, it seems that Freiburg and Forest are between the connector and the CT spawn, and one of the players is always on a flash, a pop flash that just pops on Heaven, on balcony towards B, and he's kind of supporting Get Right in that sense without having to be on the bomb site. And then if Faze goes for a mid push, he's able to rotate there with Force, either peek out after a flash or do a boost like we saw while Zest is being defensive on A with the Scar 20 and Titz is supporting him from short.
Speaking of a Scar 20, scars all over Rain's body now, looking a bit like Jon Snow. With that attempt to move into the B bomb site, it is an eco from the Faze side. We've got guns being collected just about, and Faze will wisely move away from the B bomb site.
Yeah, I mean, it's really smart of Exist to change his position to B, because expecting an eco play, they're not going to want to try to run an eco round into an auto sniper, so they're not going to go A. So it's super smart that he just changed his position.
Of course, the auto sniper that has a really high skill ceiling as a weapon has a $300 bounty, while the AWP has a $100 bounty. And let me ask you this, Dan. When have you seen Zist play with an AWP? I'll answer that. Probably never. Because AWP actually requires skill. But still, we see it nerfed because of a few players who possess incredible skill.
That is
a very reasonable argument.
AWP rant is over now. We can get back to the game.
Nerf goes back quite some time.
Now you said that, I'm going to buy the auto sniper more. Because actually,
that's going to help us to win some games, actually.
Wow. Because I just realised that. I didn't know, I didn't realise what the loss bonus even was on that.
It is much more expensive though, to be fair, as well. $600 more. So.
What? It's 200, it's 5K.
Yes, a clean 5,000.
It's $250 more than.
That's a good point. I thought it was 5,500. That's
how much spent in Vegas for a night.
The difference pays for itself in the first kill.
Nice.
Nice.
Not sure why I thought it was 55 for some reason. Anyway.
We don't use it, that's why.
That's true, I never buy it. So.
Maybe the T1's more expensive. But I'll look into this while you conversate.
Yeah, we got AZ on the boost. That is super sneaky. That's so sneaky because, of course, they put NiP in a position where they're down a man and they're likely to go for an info play as well. So, and now they can get the bomb in there. It's just super sweet play from AZ. You just don't expect that as a CT. If you're going to pop flash into that position and you haven't had much info in towards A main, you just don't expect AZ to be there. So there's the GG play. And NiP's money is going to be in a really dodgy place. This is kind of turning into a spot where, you know, after the rebuy of NiP, if they're not successful in this next round, Faze might be in a position to just win this first map, which, you know, there's so many win conditions for Faze, like winning both pistols and.
I mean, this might be a good example of how you can counter NiP in a sense, right? If you get a man advantage somehow, maybe your AWPer gets an early pick, then you can just play it super passively, defensively, because you know that NiP is going to react somehow, right? And there you can see how it can go wrong for them. AZ was in a perfect position. Granted, if NiP waited half a second before pushing until that flash popped, they would have probably gotten the kill. But in this round, Faze didn't have to do much. They just held their positions, and NiP came to them, and they picked up the frags.
Going for the... I want to say...
Wow.
I wanted to make a reference to Chris J, but it's not really a Chris J spot. It's just, there was that memorable highlight with Scout.
Scout, yeah.
That was such a long time ago.
That was quite cool how he crab walked the angles, actually, kind of carpeting the entire mid with the auto sniper there.
Crab walk.
That was really smart. Obviously, he tagged Freiburg down to 66, that's significant. That is a nice chunk of damage.
I always feel like...
Okay, and he's just going to kill Pit with a wallbang. Why not?
Nice.
Jeez.
I was about to say, in most cases, I feel like it's dangerous for the Ts to pick up an auto sniper from the CTs because it's normally much more powerful on the CT side. So if you lose a round and they get it back, it could just fully wreck you the next round. Well, Tsushima has other things to say about that. We'll see what Faze can do with this though. To 13-13, so we're getting down to the clutch part of the first map here. This will be a more successful pop flash into A main. There's going to be a two-man slaughter first. Exists with a nice read as to what might happen there and a nice punish. AZ will come in for the trade and the split seams on here for Faze.
Yeah, it's such an important round for NiP. They're in a lot of danger if they lose this one, and they're in such a bad position now. 2 versus 4. Get right in Freiburg, trying to save the day, and there is a lurking mid for the T side by the vent area. That's going to be very problematic friberg able to get some good damage and a kill in there. So maybe there is some chance that Kyoshima, without all the sniper, of course, will take down GetRight, leaving friberg alone in the clutch. He knows where the auto sniper is now, but you can see this is going to be very difficult regardless. Faze trying to play this perfectly, and they will. It is a very dead friberg, and maybe NiP's chances in this map are slowly drifting away.
I mean, again, it was a bit unlucky for NiP, so to speak, with Kyoshima getting the spam kill with the auto sniper. But again, they go for a pretty simple, straightforward execute towards the A bomb site, and they manage to get the trade kills. Now this is a tricky situation for NiP. 3 of their players have money for a good buy. GetRight is pretty low, and Pith can maybe go for a UMP or a pistol and all of the nades. They have enough money for an AWP, so depending on that, unfortunately Forrest doesn't have a good spawn. So they might try and buy here, have an AWPer maybe towards the B bomb site by himself and focus more on mid, or the A bomb site with a joker play somehow, right? Having a player hide and someone else bait for him. But honestly, Faze has been doing a pretty good job utilizing their nades when they go for the A bomb site, right? They've been using those Molotovs, flashes, nades. They've been playing pretty solid so far when it comes to that.
Yeah, and they've been very good on making sure they get all the trades that they when they ever commit into a bomb site or are defending in different areas. That their trade game is being pretty solid too, and that's one of the small things. It's very fundamental Counter-Strike, but it's one of the small things you just have to do well. And it does show generally. I mean, I think Faze originally, when they had their best result under the G2 banner, like some of these players, when Michael Elliott was there at the Cluj-Napoca major, one of the things that impressed me the most was how amazing their trade game was there. Actually, they seem to have some insane synergy out of nowhere, and it seems like we're getting more resemblance to kind of that as this Faze lineup with Kyoshima is now starting to kind of really go through the motions together, which is really good to see. I mean, if you don't have really good strategies or very big depth tactically, I mean, having good team playing coordination is going to be a must, and we're seeing good use of these players in that sense. So
Kishima's holding B from T-spawn. I can only assume that he is standing on the road sign while he does that. While the rest of the team are concentrating on the A bomb site. And Rain is biding his time, making sure nobody is pushing through mid. One of the NiP being one of the teams who are less likely to do that. I'm 100% sure Kyoshima is on the side now. See, GetRight's over towards the box. You can see the limitations of the NiP buy. GetRight's only got the CZ here, so he's as close as possible. Less than a minute on the clock here. It seems Forrest is going to be... No, GetRight's going to be boosted up.
No. That just walks up. 1 bullet, that's all he needs. That's nuts. That is so ridiculous. And now he can pay full attention to the play. And now it's all on Exist in this position. He's got to get something out of the boost, but nothing goes his way. And all of a sudden, it looks pretty over here for NiP. I mean, they've got 2 players very far away, and they recognize how desperate this situation is. They're likely just going to try to save what they have. I mean, to be fair, Forrest has an AWP. But that one shot in mid from Rain, just icing on the cake right there for Faze.
I didn't even see it. I was trying to figure out who was being boosted into the vent there.
It was GetRight.
I know that. That's what I do know.
I mean, not much you can do in a round like this, right? Pith just got erased from the server by Rain pretty much, and then we saw what we talked about, Faze using all the Molotovs coming into the A bomb site. I think it was friberg who was in back of quad, forced to move into the open, gets killed. Maybe Exist could have made a difference by getting those 2 kills, but he missed his spray a little bit, and it's match point for Faze.
It is indeed, but there's still a way back. There's always a way back when you've got Norp in tow, but Faze, they got an AWP and also a sniper. Fox will probably, I'm sure there'll be an AK on the floor if they want to switch for that as well later on. Indeed, there is. So Faze have everything going for them. They have a massive advantage going into this round, but how will they play the advantage? To see if NiP find a way to sneak it away from them.
So normally when a team is at such an equipment disadvantage. We see some aggression from them somewhere on the map. NiP, though, perhaps not really their style. But how will they make this work for them? They have some counter flashes. They have 2 rifles and 3 pistols, and they're playing ranges over towards mid. So, of course, Faze will recognize the weakness, and they will be looking for the slaughter. So NiP are not going to serve themselves up just yet. Jacob getting into those close positions now, and Frybo's going to have no idea. Down he goes, and that's going to significantly weaken the places NiP can hold on the A site. This getting a 2-man, very nice. Oh, the flash is perfect, but he can't take down Rain as well. 3 versus 3, you make that 2 now, advantage NiP.
Yeah, beautiful play from Exist there, so stunning. Now it's down to Kiyoshima with that auto sniper. He gets traded by Forest. The AWP is a good counter to an auto sniper, and we've got Fox here left alone in this 1 versus 2, and this is to save the map here for NiP. Can they get it done? Fox incredibly good with that AWP, and he's got 30 seconds to play with, so he does have some time to go for these peaks. Nice snap onto Get Right. See you later. But there is the trade. NiP will keep themselves alive for 1 round more. Are we going to overtime here? Do Forest and Co even have enough money between them to get a respectable buy? Looks somewhat okay.
Better than last round.
It has, well, 2 UMPs. It's not, yeah. They have some nades. They got a couple UMPs.
It's a big buy.
They had 2 rifles last round.
You have to play with 2 UMPs. It's not an optimal buy. And Exist only has a flash and Kevlar without head armor. So great round by him. Those 2 kills were crucial for NiP. And Forest gets a venture kill on Rain.
Lovely off angle there. We saw Flusher using that to great effect yesterday as well. Fox is fast and sharp. He will take down Exist. 5x soon to follow as well. And this may be the end of the road here for NiP in the first map. 2 versus 3, and it's 2 UMPs get right upgrades for an AK. Bomb is getting planted for main.
Yeah, this is a tough one. Another tough one for NiP. They've not had the easiest game here against Faze, and Faze are going to lock it down 16-14. I was worrying for them that maybe they couldn't close this one, but they were able to take away cash from NiP. They won both the pistol rounds, which of course are very, very needed. I mean, if you look at the scoreline, NiP did a great job. I mean, they didn't really almost ever play against any ecos, which is what we're typically used to seeing them do so well against. So,
but Dan, members of Faze Clan CSGO team, as we can see their full game managed to take the win.
Yeah.
That's a very official title.
That's the most ridiculous